Hey guys, Oddbot here. Today we're going to be continuing the never-ending saga that is John Wayne Gacy. For my listeners, listener discretion is highly advised. 18 and up, please. If you are highly sensitive to the keywords that are going to be used in this podcast, I suggest you turn to one of the other podcasts. So stay tuned and have a nice night, guys. Bye. Hey guys, so today we're doing another continuance of the John Wayne Gacy case. I'm by myself today. Both my co-hosts are gone for the night. One's off and the other one is on PTO, I guess. So just sit tight and listen to me babble about John Wayne Gacy. So as we last continued, we were still in Waterloo, but I think we're gonna go ahead and fix that whole little situation. Hold on. Alright, so we left Waterloo. Now we are in Chicago. Alright.
There are a lot of things that can affect your finances. The Associated Critical Need Trust will be a great resource if you got critical financial needs.
We already did that whole part where he was already psych evaled and all that shit. So as we mentioned before, his wife had petitioned for divorce, and he never saw his first wife or his children ever again. Now we're coming back to Chicago. He was granted parole with 12 months probation on June 18th, 1970. After having served 18 months of his 10-year sentence, conditions of his probation included that Gacy relocated to Chicago to live with his mother, that he must observe a 10 p.m. curfew. On his release, Gacy told a friend and fellow JC, Clarence Lane, who picked him up from the prison and had remained steadfast in his belief of Gacy's innocence, that he would never go back to jail and that he intended to reestablish himself in Waterloo. However, within 24 hours of his release, Gacy had relocated to Chicago. He arrived there on June 19th and shortly thereafter obtained a job as a short-order cook in a restaurant. So him proclaiming that he was going to come back to Waterloo and take shit back failed immensely. On February 12th, 1971, Gacy was charged with sexually assaulting a teenage boy who claimed that he had lured him to his car at Chicago's Greyhound bus terminal and driven him to his home, where he had attempted to force the boy into sex. The court dismissed the complaint when the boy failed to appear. So who knows why the boy didn't appear? Maybe he was scared of Gacy. Maybe he was intimidated by him, or maybe his parents didn't believe him, or maybe XYZ. Some situations like that occur when the person in question, or the victim, is not believed. So that's really kind of like a hard thing of not put off. If a kid told you you're gonna they're being forced to do something they're not supposed to do, God knows what. Sorry if you hear that tin. That's actually my pie. I bought a little small little teeny pie for 50 cents. I don't eat much during my lunch breaks. Pie. You're chewing ASMR. I'm just kidding, guys. Alright. On June 22nd, Gacy was arrested and charged with aggravated sexual battery and reckless conduct. The arrest was responsive to a complaint filed by a youth who had claimed that Gacy had flashed a sheriff's badge, lured him into his car, and forced him to perform oral sex. These charges were dropped after the complaint attempted to blackmail Gacy. So, he said that Gacy had made him go into his car, forced him to give him head, and then the charges were dropped because he tried to blackmail Gacy. Fucking smart little kid. I mean, you wanted him to be prosecuted, but yet you blackmailed him for some shit. Wow. The Iowa Parole Board did not learn of these incidents, and 8 months later, in October 1971, Gacy's parole ended. The following month, records of Gacy's previous criminal convictions were sealed. Wow, so nobody in Iowa had figured shit out what was going on. He was being charged in Chicago for The same shit he was doing in Waterloo. This is kind of fucked up if you think about it. I mean, aren't you supposed to check on your parolee, right? Or like, you know. Alright, here we go. 8213 West Somerdale Avenue. With financial assistance from his mother, Gacy bought a ranch house near the village of Norridge in Norwood Park Township, an unincorporated area of Cook County in the part of metropolitan Chicago. The address 8213 West Summerlin Avenue is where he resided until his arrest in December 1978. And where, according to Gacy, he committed all his murders. He was active in his local community. His neighbors considered him helpful. He willingly loaned his construction tools and plowed snow from the neighborhood's walks free of charge. Between 1974 and 1978, he hosted annual summer parties, attended up to 400 people, including politicians. Wow. He was so fucking savvy, wasn't he, guys? Second marriage and divorce. Wow. Okay. August 1971, shortly after Gacy and his mother moved into the house, he became engaged to Carol Hoff, a divorcee with 2 young daughters, and they were married on July 1st, 1972. His fiancée and stepdaughters moved into his home soon after the couple announced their engagement. Gacy's mother moved out of the house shortly before the wedding happened. So his mom moved out before, so she didn't want to deal with the whole, like stigma of living with the fiance and the problems like that. It might have hit a hatch between them. You never know these things. Sometimes these domestic things happen. It's like you move in with your boyfriend or you're moving with your girlfriend, but they're living with their parents still, or they're taking care of their parents. And to some people, it's considered a burden or a problem. But if the person is really committed to taking care of their moms and shit or their dads, you got to remember that they were there before you, and you have no fucking say-so. It's like me, for my example, I take care of my mom. So if anybody try to tell me that my mom had to move out, fuck you. You could go to the curb too. I don't need your ass. I'm there to take care of my mom. I don't give 2 shits. And I have my offspring. So I take care of 2 people. They can't accept neither of them, that they don't belong in my life necessarily. I mean, it's a given, being raised in a household that I'm raised in, and being the standards that my family standards are, we are raised to take care of our parents as well. In the long term, they took care of us, and it's our turn to take care of them. So you love it or hate it, and people can't stand it, or they don't want to be near it, then you don't have to be near me. So fuck, Hey, moving on. And by 1975, Gacy had told his wife that he was bisexual, and the couple had sex on Mother's Day that year. He informed her this would be the last time they would ever have sex. He began spending most of his evenings away from home, only to return in early hours of the morning, and the excuse that he'd been working late. His wife observed Gacy bringing teenage boys into his garage and found gay porn and men's wallets and identification in the house. When she confronted him about it, he confronted her angrily that was none of her business. So he fucked his wife one time and said, this is the only time we're gonna be fucking bumping uglies. And next thing you know, he's banging teenage boys and probably killing them for all we know. Following a heated argument when she failed to balance a checkbook correctly in October 1975, Carol Gacy asked her husband for a divorce. He agreed at his wife's request, although by mutual consent, Carol continued to live at 8213 West Somerdale until February 1976, when her and her daughters moved into their own apartment. 1 month later, on March 2nd, the Gacy's divorce, decreed upon false grounds of Gacy's infidelity with women, was finalized. Wow. So she said, he's cheating on me with women. It turns out he was fucking teenage boys and young men. So, she married a fucking pervert, but that didn't bother her, apparently. Well, so, kind of, sort of, when he just, said the one time only, and, yeah. I'd be bitter as fuck, too. But, each to their own. 1971, Gacy established a part-time construction business, PDM Contractors. The initials PDM were for painting, decorating, and maintenance. With the approval of the probation officer, he worked evenings on his construction contracts while working as a cook during the day. Initially, Gacy undertook minor repair work such as sign writing, pouring concrete, and redecorating, but he later expanded to include projects such as interior design, remodeling, installation, assembly, and landscaping. Mid-73, he quit his job as a cook so he could fully commit to his construction business. By 75, PDM was expanding rapidly, and Gacy was working up to 16 hours per day. On March 1977, he became supervisor for PE Systems, a firm specializing in remodeling of drugstores. Between PE Systems and PDM, Gacy worked upon four projects simultaneously and frequently traveled to other states. By 78, PDM's annual revenue was over $200,000. Okay, this is where I'm going to take a gander, and I want to say, okay, so he was traveling to other states. Who knows how many victims are actually out there besides the 33 that were found underneath his house and the ones that were found in the river. But you gotta kind of take into consideration there's some people that have had stories with run-ins with Gacy in the 70s. There was one that I remember going on YouTube where I looked up on YouTube. And this guy had came out saying that he was hitchhiking, and this man picked him up, and he kind of tried to force him to do some shit. He was fortunate to get out of the car, and he went to a bar. Well, he went to a bar for help. So several months later, when Gacy was actually arrested, they had put his picture on the television and with the crimes and everything what he was charged with. He freaked out because that could have been him. So, like I said, maybe there's more victims out there than the 33 we know about. Alright. Pogo the Clown. For all you guys don't know, he actually was a clown. And he did this through his membership called the Moose Club. He became a Jolly Joker Clown Club, whose members regularly performed at fundraising events, parades, in addition to voluntarily entertaining hospitalized children. In late 1975, Gacy joined and created his own clown characters, which includes Pogo the Clown and Patches the Clown. He described Pogo as a happy clown, and whereas Patches was more a serious character. So I'm going to pause there too. In pop culture, for those who listen to the alt band or the industrial band Marilyn Manson, their keyboardist was actually his stage name was Madonna Wayne Gacy, and he changed it to Pogo the Clown. So he kind of he kind of gave people I want to say a push, but kind of like a thing to hey, you know what, I'm gonna adapt this fucking name or whatever. I mean, like I said, people have their fascinations with serial killers, and either if you're male or female, you're a strong admirer, where you want to fuck them, or you're oh my god, this is so, you're just interested in the fucking shit they did, I don't know. Like I said, people think have their own thoughts and precursors and shit like that. So, carrying on. Gacy seldom earned money from his performances, and later said that acting like a clown allowed him to regress into childhood. Age regression. For those who know, age regression can be triggered by a lot of things. Maybe if when he was growing up, he did suffer from abuse from his father, coddling from his mother, trying to protect him, but his father was abusive with him. I think that kind of helps with his age regression, where he feels comfortable enough to act out the way he did with the clown performances, not the murders, the clowns. All right, so here we go. He performed such as both Pogo and Patches at numerous local parties, political functions, charitable events, and the children's hospitals. Sorry guys, I'm talking fast. My coffee just kicked in. Sometimes Gacy would remain in his clowning garb after a performance, briefly drink at a local bar before returning home. Gacy's voluntary public services as a clown throughout the years of his murder led to being known as the Killer Clown. So, I mean, I guess you could say it's the real Pennywise, metaphorically speaking. All right. So we're gonna get to like one more section, and then we're gonna like call it a night because we're almost to the murders, and that's one thing I want to really get into. So here, the murders will probably I will probably cover the murders, tomorrow. Tomorrow, yeah, most likely tomorrow. I will have my mom, be there with me as I narrate this shit. It's just gonna be like, what the hell? Need I remind you, I'm getting my information from Wikipedia and also murderpedia.org. Murderpedia is the Wikipedia of fucking serial killers. I mean, if you had like watched my YouTube channel in the beginning, I used to do the lesser known serial killers. I quit during Arizona's because Corey Morris was one fucked up individual, and I couldn't say the words I wanted to say on camera without people fucking just like reporting my videos. I mean, they reported my David Parker Ray video because of the gratuitous violence. That's what it was. They didn't like what I had to say or anything, so they kind of like reported that video. And Daniel Lee Siebert, they reported that one. So I'm like, fine, never mind. But yeah, my YouTube channel did kind of like do 2 or 3 videos of serial killers. That's where I got the information, was from Murderpedia, because and other like various newspaper articles and whatnot. But right now I'm actually on Wikipedia and Murderpedia, so both informations are the same, and you can get that information online. It's public knowledge. All right. Employees. Much of PDM's workforce consisted of high school students and young men. He would often proposition his workers for sex or insist on sexual favors in return for acts such as lending him his vehicles, financial assistance, or promotions. He claimed to own guns. Once telling an employee, "Do you know how easy it would be to get one of my guns to kill you? And how easy it would be to get rid of the body." Sorry, excuse me, I burped. 1973, Gacy and his teenage employee traveled to Florida to view property Gacy had purchased. On the first night in Florida, Gacy raped him in their hotel room. After returning to Chicago, he drove to Gacy's house to beat him in his yard. Gacy told his wife he had been attacked for refusing to pay him for poor quality work. Oh, shit. So, yeah, I fucking told you guys. Who knows how many people he's attacked in different states? Even like he took one of his employees to Florida and raped him in his hotel room. So what's that fucking tell you? Like, why would you fucking share a room with the guy anyways? You go, oh my god, fucking pay for your own room. All right, here we go. 1975, Gacy hired 15-year-old Anthony Antonucci. In July 1975, Gacy went to Antonucci's home, and the two drank a bottle of wine and watched a heterosexual stag film before Gacy wrestled Antonucci on the floor and cuffed his hands behind his back. With one cuff loose, and Antonucci freed his arm while Gacy goes out of the room. When Gacy returned, Antonucci, the high school wrestler, pounced upon him. He wrestled Gacy to the floor, obtained possession of the handcuff key, cuffed Gacy's hands behind his back. At first, Gacy threatened Antonucci and then calmed down and promised to leave if he removed the handcuffs. Antonucci later agreed, and Gacy left. He later had really called like Gacy told him, "Not only are you the only one who got out of the cuffs, you got them on me." Wow, so that kid fucking lived and lucked out. Someone was watching his ass, like literally. On July 26, 1976, Gacy picked up a 18-year-old David Cram as he hitchhiked on Elston Avenue, and Gacy offered him a job at PDM. He began to work the same evening, and on August 21st, Cram moved into his house. Next day, he and Gacy had several drinks to celebrate his 19th birthday. He adjusted his pogo. Gacy conned Cram into donning handcuffs and wrist cuffs in front of his body rather than behind. Gacy swung Cram around while holding the chain link in the cuffs, and he intended to rape him. Cram kicked Gacy in the face and freed himself from the handcuffs. A month later, Gacy appeared in Cram's bedroom, a door intending to rape him, and saying, "Dave, you really don't know who I am. Maybe it'd be good if you give me what I want." Cram resisted, straddling Gacy, who left his bedroom, stating, "You ain't no fun." Cram moved out on October 5th and left PDM, although he did periodically work for Gacy over the following 2 years. Shortly, Cram moved out of Gacy's house. Another employee, 18-year-old Michael Rossi, moved in. Rossi had worked with contractors before, since May 1976. He lived with Gacy until April 1977. Rossi sometimes assisted Gacy in the clowning and the grand openings of businesses. Gacy as Pogo and Rossi as Patches. So, he already raped somebody in Florida. He tried to rape one of his employees, and his employee said, fuck you, get off me, I'm gonna move the fuck out of here. So that's what he did. He got out. Good for him. Alright, guys, we are gonna cover the quick little politics portion, and then we're gonna call it a night. Gacy also entered local Democrat Party politics, initially offering use of his employees to clean party headquarters at no charge. He was rewarded for his community service with the appointment to serve on the Norwood Park Township Street Lighting Committee, subsequently earning the title of Precinct Captain. As When Doves Cry plays. In 1975, Gacy was appointed director of Chicago's annual Polish Constitution Day Parade. I'm sorry, guys. My English is horrible today. Polish Constitution Parade Day. He supervised the annual event from 1975 until 1978. Although he worked with the parade, Gacy met and was photographed with First Lady Rosalind Carter on May 6, 1978. The event later became an embarrassment to the United States Secret Service. In the pictures, Gacy's wearing an S pen, indicating the person given special clearance. Okay, wait. Oh. Alright, guys. So, we just covered Chicago, his rape in Florida, and a potential rape of another former employee. And tonight we will be covering the murders, and it's gonna stand for fucking long. Like I said, this thing's gonna be a multi-parter. We still have a lot more to go. I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. You guys are awesome. For those of you guys who are listening to my other podcasts, you guys are great. I really appreciate all of you. So with that being said, guys, continue being awesome, and I will check you guys in a couple hours. Because technically today is tonight, so tomorrow is tonight. Yeah, you are listening to Odd Pods with the Odd Broad. I am the Odd Broad herself. And be safe out there. Wear a mask. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face. Avoid people if you're hitchhiking at all costs. Catch a bus. Be safe out there, guys. Really, you never know who the monsters really are. I'm sorry, guys. I'm awake, and then my coffee hit, and I'm awake. So you guys have a good night and sleep tight. Don't let your nightmares bite, and I will see you guys later. Bye.